We've all heard it before. People crossing the border to take American jobs. I mean, who do they think they are marching into America, taking the rightful employment of an American citizen? We all know who I'm talking about. Canadians. You weren't expecting that, were you? The media has brainwashed all of you to associate the word immigration with Mexico. Did you know that according to the U.S. Department of Immigration, between 1840 and 1940, 2,800,000 Canadians immigrated from the Great White North to the United States. The main reason? To find better jobs and educational opportunities for their children. We forgave those Canadians, but somehow, despite the 11 million illegal immigrants in our country today, the debate for a comprehensive immigration reform is stagnating. By analyzing the current status of immigration in the country, the harms of a lack of reform, and possible solutions to push immigration reform forward, we can understand that Latinos are here to benefit the country. Before we mow on down to the harms of a lack of reform, we need to understand why it really matters. We need to realize that not only are Hispanics here in large numbers, but are greatly influential to further economic growth and the well-being of our communities. Because according to the census in 2010, 52 million Americans are Latino. In addition to the 11 million illegal immigrants not included in the census, Latinos represent over 17% of the entire population in the U.S., all of whom play an important part in our economy. According to the CELIC Center for Economic Growth on September 24, 2014, the buying power of the Hispanic market has grown to over $1.3 trillion annually in the United States. That's larger than the entire economies of all but 13 countries in the world. We are essential to the economy. But by trying to keep immigrants out, it's costing the United States a pretty penny. The Washington Office on Latin America, on June 21st, 2013, states that the government spends $8.5 billion per year maintaining the Mexican-American border and deporting those already here, all of which comes from our tax-paying pockets. As a melting pot of different cultures, the trait that is shared by most minority groups is a struggle to be recognized. If we are willing to defend the civil rights of African Americans and women, all people who have continued to benefit our communities, then why not immigrants who only want a better life for their families? Without commitment to comprehensive immigration reform, individuals that would enhance societal well-being are being forced into hiding. Now, I am not saying that we should legalize everybody, but we need a system designed to allow those people who want to be productive citizens a fair chance to achieve that. The lack of reform has led the public to unjustly blame illegal immigrants for the country's problems. In his book, International Migration and Citizenship Today, Niklaus Steiner explains that the American people are asking the wrong questions. Instead of asking for ways to improve the economy, they are asking who let such an undeserving group of people into the country. According to my angry white neighbor, all Mexicans are poor and lazy. And according to Dr. Linda Jackson, professor in the Department of Psychology at Michigan State University, which was my neighbor? And the common views of Latinos is just that, aggressive, poor, and lazy. The public does not view us as people, and instead is willing to place the blame for the country's problems on us at the risk of sacrificing our identity. In a survey conducted by the Associated Press in 2011, 52% of non-Hispanic whites exhibited at least some form of anti-Hispanic sentiments. White people think I'm scary? I don't know. But the one thing that white people do not deny us is that somos de familia. We are from family. Y somos orgullosos. And we are proud. In a poll conducted by the Pew Hispanic Center on April 4th, 2013, most Latinos view themselves as a diverse and hardworking culture. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter why they came here in the first place. because most illegal immigrants already have fully established lives. And by ignoring the need for a new immigration system, deportations threaten millions of families. And not only that, but it strips us of our identity. You see, we are not just Mexicanos or Cubanos or Dominicanos, but we are also Americanos. And our identity shouldn't be stripped away just because of a vague fear of a disingenuous stereotype. The road hasn't been easy, but together, we can get there. Having said that, I will be the first to tell you that by no means do I have the answer to solve immigration reform. But this issue is a lot closer to being resolved than you may think. Simply put, our legislators need to work together. Leading the way is a bipartisan group known as the Gang of Eight. 8 senators who in May of last year drafted a 1,300-page immigration bill that was passed in the Senate. According to the Washington Post, this bill included a road to citizenship for the 11 million illegal immigrants in the country. However, in order for a bill to become a law, it must also pass through the House. And therein lies the issue. Ultimately, it is the Speaker of the House who decides which issues will be discussed. Speaker John Boehner has continuously refused to put the immigration bill up for voting in the House. And according to a USA Today article from February 9, 2014, Boehner stated that the House will hold no debates on immigration for the rest of the year. That was February, and Boehner has remained true to his word despite Obama's plea for reform. According to a November 5, 2014 article from the Huffington Post, since the Republicans gained majority in the Senate after the midterm elections, Obama pledged to work with the new Congress. However, he warned that if Congress remained stagnant, he would pass an immigration reform bill through an executive order, therefore bypassing Congress altogether. Senator John McCain warned that this would only make matters worse, as Republicans in both the House and the Senate would be more unlikely to work on a bipartisan bill. Currently, there are groups such as Mi Familia Vota that are camping and fasting out in the National Mall in an effort to push Congress towards action. Even students like us are leaving their mark. ABC News reports that 2 Mexican-American teenagers, Carmen Lima and Jennifer Martinez, interrupted Boehner's breakfast last November in order to tell him how difficult it has been to live without their father ever since he was deported to Mexico 3 years ago. We need to be inspired by these examples. We need activism. We need to be politically cognizant of what's going on with immigration. And we need not be afraid to write or call our legislators to push for reform. By coming together both as politicians and as people, we can pass immigration reform, repairing and preventing broken families. We need to realize, accept, and abandon preconceived notions of immigration and immigration reform so that we can all get back to our lives as Americans and focus our attention where it truly belongs. Convincing Congress to go after those damn Canadians. When immigration reform is passed, for I am confident it will, we can look at the words of Uruguayan poet Eduardo Galeano. Los que no están presos de la necesidad, están presos del miedo. Those of us that are imprisoned not because of necessity, are imprisoned because of fear. And hopefully then, we can understand that even aliens are people too.